And before I start, I'll just say today is, if you watched the videos from the bonus section, the one about stress and the other one about 12 facts, interesting facts about neurofeedback, today we are not going to dive into science. So I decided I make it light but extremely practical, because modern days, modern times, they require us to be fast, really, to be very flexible, very adaptable. And that's where I think brainwaves can bring some light. And especially I'm thankful even to my own meditation club and all participants, because it helps me to learn more and really understand more the language of brainwaves. They communicate like any frequency. It's a message, on the level of your body, your emotions, feelings, and even symptoms. There'll be messages, all these frequencies. It's energy wherever you look at. It's 27th of May and 28th of May already for me. And the topic today is Brainwaves, Wisdom for Everyday Life, Insights into Mastery. So there is a beautiful picture reflecting that we are constantly radiating, our field constantly radiating whatever is going on with us, and though we may not know about it consciously, unconsciously, we read each other's field. So a few words about me. Most of you already know me. So my name is Oxana Bondarchuk. I am certified Awakened Mind practitioner and trainer, and I am online events moderator. So I started running a Mind Mirror Meditation Club last year, thinking this is a great idea to dive into meditation and explore more and inspire others and myself to continue meditation practice and try more and more various teachings, teaches, approaches, have more insight. So I have background in psychology and in transpersonal psychology, and also in corporate field in marketing and finance. That's ancient history by now. So disclaimer here, of course, current presentation is limited by my personal experience and understanding at this moment in time. I keep learning. So if it doesn't coincide with some of original teachings, that's mine, that's my creativity. Please allow me some space to explore. So I will use some examples and metaphorical language and simplify certain things just to make it easier for you to digest. So please feel free to research more with valid statistics. So I'll start with this basic slide where you see visible spectrum. Everybody knows that we can see only limited spectrum of light. So this is electromagnetic spectrum. With technology, we know that we have X-rays, we have microwaves, we have long radio waves, but with our own senses, we are only equipped to perceive this limited spectrum. And I was thinking this is a good metaphor. Conscious mind is just like this visible section of a much larger spectrum. So this is how much we can see, and just a fraction with our rational, logical mind, things that we are normally aware of. And of course, I know you're tired of this slide, but I'm just giving you a brief idea. That's what we see with the mind mirror. We see bands, and they reflect frequencies. And on the bottom, we see the slowest brainwaves. On the top, we see the fastest brainwaves. And conscious mind associated with the fastest beta brainwave sits on the very top. So I decided it's like tip of the iceberg, this little section. So I decided, why don't I just put numbers for today, especially for those of you who are new to the mind mirror. Let's just look at the numbers and look at it as if we imagine brainwave speedometer, right? So the slowest one, the brainwaves of delta, and you know that we, at any time in a day, we adjust naturally our brainwave frequencies, right? So when we're deep asleep, that would be, let's say, the very first, very slow, very long waves speed. So it's dreamless sleep, restorative sleep. That's where babies spend most of their time when they're born, because they're actively growing. When we meditate, for example, is associated with loss of body awareness, or in general unconsciousness, unconscious mind, collective field, instinct for animals. So that's delta. So then the next one, if we speed up a little bit, we'll move into theta. When we just see in dreams, it's called REM sleep. That's when we are in theta. We also are in theta in deep meditation, light sleep, hypnopompic before waking up, hypnagogic before sleeping. So that's kind of deep. For the meditation, that would be rather a deep state, but for sleep, that would be rather light state, because we are still seeing and experiencing things. It's not like complete blackout like delta. So this is theta, and we associate it with our subconscious mind. And then if we speed up a bit more, and that's what happens, say, when we are waking up in the morning, just yawning and stretching in bed and still have maybe some leftover memories of our dreams. This is alpha. We are switching on alpha. So it's associated with physical sensory input, physical and mentally relaxed state, visualization or sensualization, really all senses, all perceptions. You can say body falls into alpha frequency category from the mind mirror view. Peace and presence, intuition and creativity. That's where we go at rest with eyes closed, if we are not overly stressed, if we're not traumatized. And that's our light meditative states. Beautiful. You can call it also light trance. So it's already not ordinary state. It's already where you have some ease, or you can call it flow. When alpha opens, it allows for this flow and communication. We also call it the bridge between beta and theta. And then beta, it's even faster. I called it number 4 speed. That's where we spend most of our waking time, waking focus. That's the brainwave frequency of our orientation, survival on Earth, because we need to orientate, we need to problem solve, we need to organize, to think logically, to be critical, analytical, to discern and understand what's around us, to navigate the reality, right? And then simply we need to communicate and speak. That's also beta. So stimulating energy and action, engaging and busy, normal alert consciousness. That's where we live. That's why I put this blue shade around it. That's where we normally are. That's our ordinary state. And then we do sometimes also show gamma brainwaves, which are even faster. It's like speed number 5. Hyper-awareness state, heightened perception, peak focus, integrated consciousness. So I wouldn't go into any more detail today. I'll just let you explore this as speed, because that's much easier maybe to grasp, and we'll go slow or go faster. You'll see numbers, or you'll see brainwave patterns. For those who know brainwave patterns, you'll understand maybe a little bit more, but it's not important really. So case 1 or example 1 about time and consciousness, topic number 1. So very common situation when you're bored and when you're waiting. Everybody knows that the time goes slow. But when we are creative and when we're enjoying ourselves, and especially when you spend your time with the loved ones or doing the things you love, the time flies really fast. And you ask like, oh, is it already over? That was so fast. So beta ordinary mind is like when you're bored or waiting, this is beta ordinary mind normally. That's your beta ticking, and these are quite fast brain waves. So it is really like covering the same distance with smaller high frequency wave steps. When you slow down a little bit, so here you see to the left number 4, if we slow down to number 3, opening alpha bridge, it brings relief and makes us walk with the bigger steps, and more we walk with ease, flow, almost sliding. Another example I was thinking of, it's like walking in a deep snow versus cross-country skiing. And why I gave this example, I'll give you one example. Basically, the life hint is let go of time and enjoy. And typical examples would be doing the chores, like making bed every day, washing the dishes. Just entertain yourself. Do your bed in a creative way. If you love beauty, make something beautiful. If you like practical, I don't know, make it really simple and practical. Washing the dishes, for example, listen to a podcast, or when you have a long wait in the airport, or the wife's shopping taking too long. And I'm sure many women know this story where husbands are just around and kind of irritated and asking you to speed up a little bit and leave sooner because it's taking so long. Just read a good book. And that's what my mum's-in-law husband is doing. He's just taking a good detective story and sits at the cafe, drinking his coffee and enjoying his book. When a friend of mine took her husband and kids, and he was so stressed because she was so slow, I said, why don't you do something to enjoy? The time will fly faster. And I mean, your wife still needs to buy certain things. It's not just her whim. And then another typical situation is when we spend time with children, and sometimes we have to understand their brains, they are not working as fast as ours. So we do need to slow down as well, and we need to surrender. Most of like kids you would spend time with, like 2 to 6 years old, they live in theta, in this dream like frequency, and they have no concept of time yet. So you really have to let go of time spending your quality time with them and just be with them and enjoy. Find how you can enjoy this time. Bring your own inner child into play. And here are 2 images just to illustrate how hard it is to wait. And I decided to illustrate my examples with music this time. So I hope you will have fun. There is no need to understand words. Just listen to the vibe and listen to the frequencies behind. So if you compare our brainwaves with music, and that's also a very good example, that's how it would look like when we are waiting impatiently, or we are irritated why somebody is doing their shopping so slowly.
Злое гордая река, музыка грохочет с потолка. Эй, вы там наверху, не топочите, как слоны, от себя отдохните, но дайте тишины. Эй, вы там наверху, от вас опять спасения нет. Не могу больше слушать, я это паш, когда болит.
So that was example of how it may look like when somebody is annoyed, irritated, criticizing you. That's the sound, the music played in your brain. And that's the one if you go and chill and get a newspaper and have a good time enjoying yourself. So I hope that was a good illustration and you felt the difference. The first example was very rhythmic, very rigid, and the next one would give you this spaciousness and flow and ease. By the way, before I move, I'll say that for meditators, even though you might not have the mind mirror, please note that if the time flies faster during meditation, it's more likely your brain slowed down. So instead of beta, you did slow down to more altered state. And that means you were doing it right. Very often, even if meditation takes 30 minutes, people may ask, oh, really? It felt like 5 or 10. I couldn't believe it was already, half an hour past. The next topic and the next example about problem solving. Very often we are pushing, we feel urged to act. I remember working in the corporate world. I often had to deliver projects on time, and you have limited hours during working day, and I just couldn't make myself do it. I don't know why. There was resistance. Maybe I was simply tired. But then I remember I had a dentist appointment in the middle of the day during lunch hours, and I decided I'll take it a little bit longer, and after dentist, meet with my friend and have a nice chat. So when I came back to the office, I found that I was recharged. Everything came so much easier to me, just having this simple chat with a good friend of mine gave me this extra energy and inspiration and opened the doors to something which helped me to resolve all my work problems and push the project forward. But it wasn't already pushing. I was like sliding or flying through it. So my understanding, my conclusion was, it's actually important, instead of pushing, to do the opposite, which is absolutely rational. You feel like I'm not talking about emergency situations where it's life and death, but in other situations when you're simply looking for a solution and it's not coming, you are pushing and it's not coming, it simply means you're lacking the resources. So the brainwaves would suggest when you're in beta ordinary mind, it traps you in rational past. What your mind already knows, it's usually fearful mind. It's disconnecting you from your inner wisdom and creativity, from big opportunities maybe that the life can bring and our mind can't simply grasp. So by relaxing and slowing ourselves from 4 to 3 or beta into alpha, you give yourself time and space, that time and space that is necessary to open yourself for subconscious resources, because our conscious mind, it runs and lives off subconscious resources. Energy and information sits in subconscious. So when we slow down, we allow ourselves to access those resources, this energy and information that we need, so it can flow through. So step back and do the opposite. Relax, go for a walk, have a bath or a cup of tea, something simple, but it will help you to recharge. It can be 5 minutes break, but instead of pushing, it's like pushing, I call it pushing, kicking the dead horse, or running the car without fuel. You usually top up your tank first and then you go for a journey. So it's the same. Your tank needs a little top up. So open up and give yourself this time and space. And when you do this, what also happens, you zoom out and kind of zoom out to bigger perspective. And I use here my favorite example with the fly, when it's pushing, trying to break through the window, but all it needs to do is kind of zoom a little bit out to see the bigger picture and see, oh, there is part of the window open, I can get out. I'll give another example. When I was I was late to do my project work and I was studying and working at the same time. So I just have one night to complete the project. And I wasn't even sure about the topic. So I decided, okay, I have this night that's already enough. The solution is always there. It's always a matter of connecting with it. So remembering and having confidence that we are confronted with the problems we are able to resolve is always good. And then give yourself this time and space, at least a container. I thought, okay, night, this is the time container. I created nice space, put the nice music, and in the morning my project was done. So, and during the day I successfully presented it. So it's all possible, but stressing doesn't help and pushing doesn't help. What we need actually to do the opposite. Case number 3, it's one of probably most important for all of us, because our life is all about relationships and communication, conflict resolution, and also influence, because even if we don't know it, our energy fields and brainwaves, they constantly influence each other. So let's have a closer look. To actually connect, we need to tune into each other, to step out of our ego minds and connect on slower frequencies of the heart. So in brainwaves terminology, that would be going from beta into alpha theta. So again, everyone's brainwaves is like an orchestra playing with its pace and tune. And as I mentioned, during the day, our frequencies may change. So at certain moments we are very sharp and fast. At other moments we are maybe heavily criticizing ourselves or making decisions, plans, pushing things forward. At other moments we may even drift out somewhere, daydream. And then when we sleep, it's also a different story. We slow down even more. That's really interesting that to connect, we need to go into alpha theta, which is the frequency that I probably would call integrating frequency for heart, body, and mind, not just the mind. We have to be fully, totally, integrally there. So this evolved mind or circular pattern represents this unity of heart, body, and mind connection. And an interesting fact is that alpha theta frequency falls into the same frequencies, or actually Schumann resonance falls in the border frequency of alpha theta, what we consider to be alpha theta category with the mind mirror. So it kind of reminds us that here on Earth level, this electromagnetic realm where we reside, there is frequency common to all life. And that's something that's where we should connect with each other. So takeaway here would be keep yourself in optimal state, practice mindfulness and tuning. And for examples, I'll show you next slides and you understand why I'm saying keep yourself in optimal state, practice mindfulness and tuning. So first, very good example, man and woman in the argument. So I borrowed these pictures from Anna Weiss's book. And you can clearly see that it's really hard to connect when somebody, if this was a dance, somebody is dancing hip hop and somebody else is trying to waltz at the same time. So it's really would be hard to find the resonant rhythm with each other. And that's exactly how it looks like here, with lots of splayed beta for men and really alpha. So an emotion, maybe feelings, body feelings for the woman here. So I decided again to illustrate it with musical pieces because I think that's easier to get because it delivers frequency without words. So here is something like a man would look like in the argument.
Ich werf ein Licht in mein Gesicht, ein heißer Schrei.
And that's how a woman might look like, being more usually sensual, emotional. So clearly for these two, it's really hard to communicate, but here below, see what happens when a husband and wife, man and woman, spend many years together. Their brainwaves start resonating with each other more and more and start reflecting each other. And another example I would like to give, you know how when you communicate from our minds, from fast beta, it's all about separation, all about righteousness. We are fighting who is right here, who is wrong. but then everybody knows that it couples when they get in bed and it comes to sex, it's usually a resolution. But definitely to be able to get on that level, you have to drop down and slow down to body and hopefully heart level as well of alpha theta. So if we would like to merge these two, that would look like, after resolution would look something like this.
Лаванда, горная лаванда, наших встреч с тобой, синие цветы. Лаванда, горная лаванда, сколько лет прошло, но помним я и ты.
To stop argument and connect, the best option is just stop talking and give each other a hug. That way you will drop down into the body level, and that will open doors to your reconciliation faster. So example number 2 will be about parents and children. And as I mentioned, children's brain is not as fast. So babies 0 to 2 years old spend most of the time growing and sleeping. So they will be on the lowest delta frequencies. And then toddlers and young early childhood kids, 2 to 6, they'll sit in their theta. So they're daydreaming without any concept of time. They're full of desire and curiosity, and very open in this suggestible, easily hypnotizable mode, if I can say so. So again, I borrowed here the pictures from Anna Weiss's book showing how children are actually tuned in to their parents. So obviously, babies definitely would be tuned in. So mama is like antenna. And this is the brainwave pattern of the mother to the left and 2-year-old daughter to the right. And you can see how they synchronize and how similar they look like. And also other information goes that our energy field, and I'll keep repeating that, mind mirror on brainwaves, they will register, the brain will register what's happening in the energy field in general. So if children sit in mother's or parents' field up to the year of 7 maybe, it's really important to remember that you are the antenna and say, I was facing this challenge when I was trying to put my son to sleep, being like, the new mother, still learning how to handle all of this. I was discovering that if I make big plans and my mind is very busy, but I'm trying to put a child to sleep, he won't sleep until my mind is busy. And I need to chill myself and maybe even lie down with him for 10 minutes and just go into this easy, light, relaxed state. I decided to give more examples with music here. So when your mind is racing with thoughts, it's probably looking like this.
Делу время, да-да-да-да-да-да, делу время, да-да-да-да-да-да, потехи час. Делу время, да-да-да-да-да-да, делу время, да-да-да-да-да-да, потехи час.
And at the same time, what the child needs, the frequency, the slower frequency, this is channeling pattern or REM sleep pattern, the sleepy pattern, that's where we need to drift, should be looking like this.
Ложкой снег мешая, ночь идет большая. Что же ты, глупышка, не спишь? Спят твои соседи, белые медведи, спи скорей, и ты, малыш.
So you understand that the music that your brain is playing is really important. So remember this. And one more example about influence. we talked about conflict resolution, parent-children relationship, and here we are talking about optimal states. And we know that, for example, Zen monks, after years of meditation, they show these beautiful patterns and peaceful patterns. And the research showed that what happens when we get together, those with more optimal states will be more influential, right? And others will tune into them if they're open to. So the example even goes to animals. You know, when animals go to the hospitals, and their presence helps very stressed patients to relax and chill and improve their even physiological, you know, indicators. Their blood pressure levels up. And I personally like it because, as any practitioner, when somebody comes to you, it's your primary kind of job responsibility to be in a good state yourself. And if we stretch it further to disciples and or students and gurus, and you know, all these initiations, and I talked about this before for those who've been with me for a while, that masters showing path to the God, I believe they are showing a beautiful brainwave pattern of frequency of unity, how you can connect that peacefulness and stillness. And again, if you are the leader or you need to be the leader, staying in more optimal state will take you there. Plus, as another good resource, you may check the webinar by one of our practitioners who did small meditation groups, where she also saw that if there were advanced meditators or even healers in the group, others was tuned into their frequencies. And we know healers and healees, you know, when healees start following more advanced states and frequencies of the healers. So I decided to give two more examples of how our ordinary mind looks like and how it may look after meditation, or how it may look at really Zen state. So that's an ordinary mind, speed number 4.
Был час пик, бежали все куда-то. Вдруг застыл, задумался зеленый свет. Зеленый свет. Час прошел, но все горит зеленый. И никто не понял, что случилось с ним. Случилось с ним. Но почему вот светофор зеленый? А потому что был он в жизни влюбленный. В мелькали дней, скоростей и огней он сам собой включился, чтобы в судьбе и твоей, и моей зеленый свет продлился. Все бегут, 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 там им светит. Все бегут, 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 там горит.
So that's our ordinary state example, and then that would be example of state after meditation, when we go into complete oneness. Okay, this was the last example. That's why I was saying keep yourself in the optimal state, practice mindfulness and tuning, and that will bring more kind of oil or green light into your life and make you more influential as well. And now I would like you to do an exercise. It's a short meditative exercise. please take a comfortable position and get ready, and I'll guide you through this. Okay, close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Ideally 3 times. And while breathing, bring your attention into your body. Feel your body on the chair. Feel your feet on the ground. And now bring your attention to your heart, wherever you can feel it in your body and however you can feel it. This is main pacer and life keeper. Listen to your heart and its rhythm for a while. If it was a drum beat, just imagine in your mind how that rhythm would be like. What's important, try to focus on the pace or speed. And now I want you to take it further and imagine a proper drum beat or even a melody or a song that's now playing inside of you, that you totally resonate with. Just imagine what that would be like. Think of this drum rhythm or imaginary or real song that your heart is in resonance with right now. And now you can open your eyes back and keeping the memories of this. I'll ask you after, we'll do 3 exercises and then I'll ask you for feedback. So I hope you managed to pick something which is quite subtle, but we all have this inner knowing what's our pace is, and maybe it's also a good reflection of our mood, what our mood is. It's that frequency or vibration, and emotion is the same thing. So here is experimental exercise number 2. I'm inviting you to close your eyes again and imagine somebody you love, or the opposite, somebody that you have challenges with, challenges to relate, to communicate. And now try to imagine what could be their song or their melody, their drum beat, or maybe their dance. How do they sound? Again, pay attention. What would be the pace, pitch, tuning, or beat of this melody, song, or dance? And is it easy or difficult for you to tune in and find resonance? Is it faster than yours? Is it slower than yours? Is the pattern or intonation of this music different from yours, and it's hard for you to stretch and adjust? And now we'll do one more exercise. So you can keep still your eyes closed. And I'll ask you still to return back to your melody, to your pace. But look at it in like more generic way, because as I said, our speed and melody and moods, they change throughout the day. But what if you had to identify the optimal pace, speed for yourself? Kind of that carrying wave, that background beat behind everything that is always there with you. The one that would radiate your essence, your very energy, soul essence. Try to get a feeling of what that would be like, this rhythm, this melody, this song, that's truly you. Again, how fast or slow? It's the most optimal, comfortable pace for you. That allows you to move through life or time with dignity, without shrinking or being smeared, and especially when you face those who challenge you. If you may see that your normal state is a bit smeared or distorted, think of someone you admire and pick their pace, somebody who walks through life with grace. Really identify this pace. We all have it and intuitively know it. And stick to it for a few seconds, having a good grasp of it. While staying with it, make a mental snapshot now of how it feels like. You may try to locate it somewhere in your body as a reference. You may find a name or record some body sensation related to this pace of you. Take it as a key into your everyday life and try to stick to it no matter what, because this will be the key to yourself, which means to your truths, to your power, to your dignity as well. So that's the end of the exercise, and if you like to share, I would appreciate if somebody could unmute and share anything you like about these 3 exercises.
Okay, I just would like to say that the first one, I chose simply my heartbeat, my heart pulse as my song, as my basic rhythm. Then the second, I visualize one of my friends that I really care about. She seems calmer than me, but strangely enough, I associated her with a stronger music and rhythm on the move. So it's a bit counterintuitive, but it can be explained in some ways. And then in the last one, I refocused on my earth. I visualize my pace, so my feet, my rhythm when I am at work or during everyday life, and also a nice melody in my brain that accompany me whenever I feel good, to have an overall sensation in my heart, in my brain, and in my legs that keep me moving. That's my resume.
Oh, thank you, Stefano. That's wonderful. So I hope you understand the logic and why I gave these exercises, because they actually will help you to connect. If you are able to tune into yourself and first of all remember your own pace, right? That makes you feel comfortable. That means you'll be relaxed and you'll be in a good creative state, not like fearful or suppressed state, because we do lose ourselves quite often, facing circumstances or whatever. So this is your key to find your way back to yourself. Plus, knowing yourself, you can tune into others and try to adjust. If you really want to connect and communicate, sometimes you may need to speed up a little bit and sometimes you need to slow down a little bit, because it's like going into a dance, right? And as I said, dancing hip hop and waltzing or dancing a tango, they don't work together really well. You have to adjust. We have to tune in to each other. Anybody else wants to share? Okay, looks like silence there. So, okay, let's continue then. Case number 4, addiction and stress. So my assumption or revelation is that addiction stress happens when we are knocked out of our energy core, when we lose our balance or our gravity, so to say. So those who were with me during meditation clubs learned that during one of meditations where there was a reference to Dantian, I found an interesting response in theta. So I realized, like researching more about Dantian, because not many of us may know what that is. So it's that, let me read about it. So it's translated as elixir field or seat of ki or chi, or simply energy center. So this is key for focus flow centers, important focal points for meditative and exercise techniques such as Qigong or Qigong, martial arts, Tai Chi, and traditional Chinese medicine. The term Dantian used usually refers to the lower Dantian, which is considered to be the foundation of rooted standing, breathing, and body awareness in Qigong, Chinese martial arts, and other martial arts. The lower Dantian has been described to be like the root of the tree of life. In speaking of the lower, again, Dantian, of these 3 energy centers, the term is often used interchangeably with the Japanese word hara, which means simply belly. In Chinese, Korean, and Japanese tradition, it's considered the physical center of gravity of the human body and is the seat of one's internal energy, ki or chi. A master of calligraphy, swordsmanship, tea ceremony, martial arts, among other arts, is held in the Japanese tradition to be acting from hara. So in other traditions, Dantian corresponds to the area of the tantric Svadhisthana chakra. In the yoga philosophy, it is thought to be the seat of prana that radiates outwards to the entire body. So I came to, I proposed the hypothesis that our energy core, in terms of brainwaves, will be reflected by something like alpha theta, ideally in a Vol's mind pattern. And it kind of is a gravity energy center. When we lose this center, we feel trapped, as if in the corner. That's how beta may feel like, with no resources, low energy, and thus craving love and support. And as a result, we are overeating, smoking, drinking, indulging, anything that would really help us to slow down, feel nurtured and soothed. And the takeaway here and the hint would be slow down when you feel like, I know that addictions are serious, but really, what can we do to prevent or kind of in a healthy way do prophylactics to stop losing ourselves less. So slow down with your breath because it's always there. Remember your pace as well. Heart math techniques work beautifully, and we had a beautiful class with heart math techniques during Meditation Club. Those who were there, they know. It's ready takeaway techniques into everyday life to help you calm down and soothe and connect. EFT tapping works good as well, and that's what we did during the very last session with the Dawson Church meditation. So it may help you in times of acute stress or kind of attack. And I mentioned before as well that don't underestimate breath, don't underestimate breathing through your heart and connecting with elevated emotions and positive emotion, because heart math techniques, there was a case, at least I listened to the presentation done by heart math expert. A woman helped herself with addiction because she ended up being in prison without her medication or drugs. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but it was a serious addiction. And the only thing she could do, she could breathe and do these exercises. So it saved her. So also practice mindfulness and body work to strengthen your energy core, and all energy practices like already mentioned, Qigong, yoga, or just integral body activities like dancing, swimming, cycling, jogging, any type of exercise really that makes you feel good about yourself will make you more grounded. Grounded, it can be understood literally, it takes you back to the ground, to your energy core. So that's about this. And then now one more exercise that I invite you to do. So please close your eyes for a second and think of any body activity you enjoy most. The activity that involves movement of your whole body, and it shouldn't be very straining or rigid, but more like easy and enjoyable for you. Definitely the one that makes your blood move, that brings joy of life, that you can feel flowing through you when you're doing it. When you feel easy, it's like sliding or flowing. Could be walking, cycling, dancing, swimming. Feel, imagine yourself doing this. Feel how it would feel in your body, as if you are doing it right now. And imagine doing it alone or with your friends in the best setting you can imagine. Create the environment that works best. Your favorite, I don't know, forest walk or ocean swim, ocean beach. Whatever you like to do most, and maybe you like dancing with your friends. Just stay there for a few seconds and again make a mental snapshot of how you feel like right now, how it makes you feel. And when ready, open your eyes. And I'll tell you that it's very likely that what you were doing now was taking you into a more optimal state. Remember it and think of it when you need to rebalance and open the flow. As an example, I'll give you an example from real life. One of my clients, so he's really into cycling. And out of all the things that we've done, his highest scores for both awakened mind and evolved mind, which means for the flow and oneness or connection with his power. So the keys, cycling was the key to most optimal states for him. It's like quick entry into your optimal state. So most likely what you were doing now is something that can help you. If anybody wants to give a feedback and just name it, what you were doing, that would be nice.
Okay, I visualize the dancing salsa because it's one of my favorite hobbies. So it was really easy for me to go into that state. Sometimes I make some rehearsal visualizing myself dancing. So that was an easy task for me to do.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, thank you, Stefano. Again, anybody else wants to say a name? Because it's for your own good, so you remember, you nail it.
Hi, this is Jen. I like to walk in my backyard and enjoy the nature of it. And from your exercise, I start to be creative because I do a lot of walking meditation, which I usually do it in the small area, and I don't like it because it's such a small 25 pace back and forth. And so I thought that by bringing that kind of image and the energy that comes with it from walking in my backyard, I think I can bring it to improve my walking meditation. And thank you for the exercise. It's very useful for me.
Yeah. You're very welcome. Just remember that your brain doesn't make a big difference between what you imagine or what actually is happening around you, right? Your imagination is a very powerful tool that helps you to be the master of your life, where you don't have to depend on external environment, but you can create a good state for yourself. You can create the right environment in your mind. And then it doesn't mean you're running away from reality. No, you're actually accessing your resources. You're accessing your power, your creativity, your imagination, and maybe even you are doing a training like, sportsmen or musicians. Even if there was an experiment done, even when they were not exercising or doing it in real life, they were just having kind of repeated it in their mind. They still showed better results than those who were not doing it. It's like extra exercise. And I highly recommend you do this. Plus, if you have big plans for a day or some important activity, you better replay it in your mind before you do it. It's part of manifestation in general. So if you can imagine it with details. It doesn't necessarily mean that real life will be exactly sticking to the details you imagined, but it's more imagining the most positive, optimal scenario of the things to unfold for you. You go for a job interview, you think about this, or you think of your project and you think of the most optimal way for scenario to unfold. And I know sometimes mind triggers us to stick and drift back into fears and, negative experiences of the past. Just change it, put there the eyes of somebody who loves and appreciates and fully accepts you. And when you put the eyes like somebody is looking really good at you while you are doing this project, somebody is loving what you are saying during the interview, for example, that will really help you if you replay this in your mind. Okay, and we'll move on because we'll still have a few topics to cover. Madness and genius. So there is a fine line between ESP. By ESP, I mean extrasensoric perception, and mediums would, for example, fall into this category. Healers and fine line between ESP and mental disorder. So what we see is, we will see slowing down in mediums and healers sometimes can be judged as dissociation, which is basically can be judged or labeled as far as mental disorder. So slowing into theta and frequencies looking like patterns looking like REM sleep or delta deep sleep, it is like drifting away from this reality to imaginary dreamlike worlds. As I mentioned, mediums, healers, psychics, this is very common, and you can again see speed number 4 in ordinary pattern to the left, and channeling and out of body or near out of body to the right, for example, what I was observing in mediums. So in mental illness, we dissociate, and I think it's unconscious protective act to avoid something, to avoid pain when we can't escape from reality which hurts us. It's our really psychic's defensive mechanism trying to save us. And when it's prolonged, right, you may develop something like schizophrenia or something really bad, because it's just too hard to adjust to this reality. So half of our consciousness, half of our psyche, some people say half, some aspect of our soul, fragment in our soul, goes and finds a peaceful residence elsewhere, right? And somebody, I think mediums even told me that if you are, for example, getting into a car crash, your soul disconnects from the body just a moment before it happens, so you are not hurt as much. So you don't actually necessarily feel all the gravity and physicality of it if you are about to die. So again, it's kind of protective mechanism. So I guess those who are mediums, psychics, for them it's more like a conscious act. Even if though initially, if they naturally have this skill, they may not have full control over it. As they live with it, they learn to deal with it, live with it, and control it. So they slow down frequencies to connect, and they do it consciously. Usually when they do it, when they're doing their work, it's associated with a great energy information transmission ability or permeability. They have to be more open, show more acceptance, let go of any prejudice, be very gentle, sensitive. Really, they have good open hearts. And a hint here to self-check, because obviously as earthly beings, we were set up with the same equipment. So on the level of physiology, we are pretty much all the same. It had happened to all of us. How can we really know whether we are going crazy or whether we are, I don't know, opening up to something bigger, right? So being conscious about what's going on and remaining adequate, so you're fully aware of what's going on and you have flexibility to bring yourself back, and you manage or control the situation, at least to a larger extent. And the key there is not being stuck or rigid. Your ability to switch the channels, to switch frequencies, switch the speeds is the key. When you get stuck, that's when you become very rigid, that's when you drift into basically disorder, rather into something advanced like ESP. Okay, body truth GPS, that's how I call it. There are situations in life when we find ourselves confused. We ask the question, we just don't know. We can't find the answer. We really don't know. The brain is racing. We might feel disorientated, don't know which direction or choice to make. A good solution is ask your body. The reason is, while conscious rational mind, our beta, And often conscious rational mind, logical mind, is also associated with left hemisphere, gets confused because it's kind of zoomed in too much. You're facing the wall, so you can't really see any doors or where you should go, left, right. It's impossible. You're too close. You are separated from the bigger picture, and connecting with your body, which also implies that when you connect with your body, what do I mean by this? During exercises, we were doing this: sense your feet on the ground, feel your heart, for example, feel your breath, focus on your breath. All of these little things, they help you to connect with your body. And when we connect with the body, our brain processes senses, feelings slower than thoughts, right? Let's put it this way. So when we go there, we actually, again, slow down and open the doorway or open the bridge to connect with deeper wisdom, with our truth, with theta. Plus, if we integrate the whole body, we connect more with the right hemisphere as well. And we know that deeper or higher states, they always imply that our left and right hemispheres are working together. That's why this evolved mind circular pattern to the right, here number 2, shows this high state of oneness and unity. So your body always knows and never lies, while mind can be just fearful and lying, trying to protect yourself. It always feels small. So when you kind of get out of your mind and connect with your body, you get bigger. I'm not saying leave your mind behind completely. No, it's still there. We're just adding on to it. We are not throwing anything away. We are adding on and redistributed energies evenly. So you can feel bigger, more connected, and connected to your truth, so you can find the right answer, the right door, the right direction to go. So I advise become your own kinesiologist. If you know what that is, that's muscle testing, and the picture shows that. And you know that kinesiologists, they use the body to reveal the truth, because the body knows. And say, if I ask you to name something you like to eat, which is healthy for you, your muscle response, the person who is pushing down the arm, would feel muscles response is stronger. But then if you mention something like which is negative and doesn't do any good for you, your body response will be weaker, because body knows and body immediately communicates. And basically the conclusion would be truth makes you stronger. So how do we connect? As I said, breathe slowly, stretch to any physical activity. Don't forget to smell the roses if you have some in your garden or pass by a flower shop. Listen to the birds, switch sensory channels, and then simply listen to your body. You will hear clear no or yes upon condition, and condition might need to be explored. The body knows. I often meet people who say, I don't feel anything. I can't connect with my body. And I said, no, this is not true. I believe anybody can do that. And I'll give you a very simple exercise to do that. I call it traffic light. So even if you think you may not feel too much, there is a simple test to your body. I call it calibration. So let's calibrate your body so you know how no, yes, and yes upon condition feels in your body. So body will normally show it. More often we know what we don't like or don't want than we want or like. Unfortunately or fortunately, it's, I guess, survival mechanism. Knowing what doesn't serve you or is dangerous for you. For this exercise, I invite you to imagine, I call it second freshness prawns, often to you in the restaurant. Again, that's real life situation. We once were served second freshness prawns, and it wasn't looking very nice and it wasn't smelling very nice. So if you are served, imagine your body response. Here is a plate coming. with these prawns. Like all animals, you know, they smell their food first to understand whether it's good for them or bad, whether they should eat it or not. That's their protective mechanism. And actually, the smell is the only sense that kind of bypasses the main long route of senses, is faster connected to our brain, faster brings us information or alertness. And I mean, Ayurveda, this ancient Indian culture about health, will recommend you to smell your food as well to decide what would be good for your body right now. Smell spice, smell anything. If you feel like it, most likely that's something you might need. Anyway, so when we smell something nasty, we want to turn away our head, right? We shrink our nose and we want to kind of push it away from us. Our whole body wants to get away from it. So you clearly get this response, oh no, thank you. Then imagine greeting someone you really love. I don't know, even it could be a dog, it could be a child, it could be a good friend, it could be your partner, somebody you really, really love. What do? We open our arms and we rush forward, right? We want to embrace it. And we say like, yes, yes, come here, I'm welcoming you, right? Give me yourself. So our body opens up and is welcoming, and we may feel this kind of inflow of energy, joy, right? And same happens when we have idea coming in that really excites us. That's the right way to go. Inspiration is exactly the same, just on the energy level. You are inspired, you are enthusiastic about something. That's clear, yes. If you remember yourself on a swing as a child, when you go up, your kind of chest blows up and you take air in your chest. That's similar feeling to big yes with your body. And then sometimes we have yes upon condition. So I called it yellow light. So it's something that we really want, like we have a big dream. I want to go, I don't know, on the worldwide cruise, but I don't have money. So the first movement is you kind of move forward. Oh, yes, please. And then something shuts down in you and something contracts. So that would be the clear indication of yes, but upon condition. Something is holding you back. And I have summarized all the things that might be helpful for you on the next slide. So no, clear no or red light. Your body will indicate with contraction, tension. You may even stop breathing or show much shallower breath. A closed posture, you want to cross your hands, and desire to turn away, right? Push away with your hands, like shrink your nose. No, thanks. You put your head away. Yes, green light. It's clear sensation of expansion or relaxation. Bigger in-breaths, as if your chest is getting fuller, getting more air in. Energy and joy coming in. You feel enthusiastic. And this will be welcoming forward body movement. It's like, yes, you open up your hands and you can, yes, you lean forward, give me more, give me more. And yes, upon condition, yellow, it's initial opening, but then being drawn back like on a string, as if something is holding you back. May mean you need just a different place or space or more space, or maybe it's not the time yet. Maybe you need more resources, and it's rarely the wrong thing for you. It's usually the right thing, but there are these certain conditions that still needs to be met, and they need to be explored. Maybe these are just blocks in your mind that needs to be cleared. That could be a case as well. Some negative past experience not letting you, some limiting belief systems and programming, subconscious programming that needs to be revised. So one more example, fishing for creative solutions or insights. There's not much to go. So this will be your exercise, but to do at home, to practice at home. We are not going to do it now. I borrowed it from Jose Silva course. They advised us to use natural altered states of mind, which are mornings after waking up and evenings before going to sleep, to access the subconscious resources. So it's our alpha. We open alpha when we wake up and drift into sleep, and it gives us access to our inner wisdom of theta, subconscious resource. So set the intention or ask your question before bed. I call it plant the seed. And then drink half a glass of water. Just bring the whole glass of water next to your bed table and drink half a glass. When you wake up in the morning, return your attention to the question you asked before bed to see if anything comes up to the surface. If not, this could be the case too. Drink the rest of the glass and wait for a few minutes or observe, look for signs and answers throughout the day if they don't come up straight away, and then repeat it if necessary. But usually at night we have kind of reset and it opens the doors, and if we are pondering about something, our brain still does the work when we are asleep, trying to optimize and find the best solution for us. So I'll share with you the presentation after so you can keep it and use it as a reminder. Case 8, psychic abilities and healing. We often think that psychic abilities, healing abilities, it's something that only certain people are gifted with. But I do believe that we all have it, and it's just a matter of accessing these abilities, because it's not somebody's individual gift, it's somebody's ability to open up. So for healing reading, psychic reading, we channel energy. It's not our individual or personal resource. And the brainwaves tell us that we actually channel energy or information with our delta. So the slowest, speed number 1, we really, really, really slow down to connect with this universal internet and find energy or information there. So that's this pattern here. And you see, it's also the pattern of sleep, by the way. But we do it consciously, and we do it with the goal to connect. So we kind of dissociate or slow down with a purpose to connect. For me, years ago, it was, again, a big insight to realize that, oh no, you just need to practice opening up. If we want to develop these abilities, we need to slow down, to relax, to let go of what we know about ourselves, our limitations, our self-importance, prejudice, judgment, fears. It really takes courage, and remove these excessive perception filters or blocks, because we don't need them, and have empathy to ourselves and others. So all of this is the way to go to open up. And there are 2 more interesting things I want to share with you. I'm studying family constellations, so there is the law of order, so to say, or hierarchy, or precedence. The father of this family constellations, Bert Hellinger, said that those who come first, they give. Those who come later, they receive. So to say, the energy flows from the oldest to the youngest. And if we look at the brainwaves, delta is really the first dominant brainwave we show when we come to Earth, when we are born. I already mentioned that babies, they spend lots of time on these slowest brainwaves as if they're adapting, right, to faster, more dense life to Earth. They are in this transition mode from other realms, if you believe in spirit and, life beyond the body. So they're accommodating to life on Earth before they speed up to the very, very dense level or fast level of beta, of everyday, normal, awakened, conscious mind. And second thing is that it's true that we don't push, we can't do healing just with our mental effort. We can direct the energy with our thought, but still our mental field lives of subconscious energies which are located on deeper levels of the mind, subconscious levels, or deeper levels of the brain, right? Inside the brain, we have to connect with the limbic system and access thalamus, and that's alpha and the rest, alpha, theta, delta. Sorry, I wanted to show you another quick example of how healing may look like, a healing mind may sound like. We already know the ordinary state, so I wouldn't repeat that, but I want to play the healing mind. I think that also was a great example that at least will give you this sharp difference from very busy ordinary state. So next one, mindfulness and spirituality. So I tried to give my own definitions based on what I know from the brainwaves and what I know from in general, how I see the energy. Mindfulness is the ability to walk with the right pace, ability to slow down, discern the context, and if necessary, take a new turn, switch the life or behaviors rails, rather than operating automatically, reactively, habitually, or based on impulse. So it's like, say, you are driving a car. What normally happens, we get rigid and inflexible. And when the time comes to slow down before the sharp turn, we may just get into accident because we are not attentive enough. We don't we're not mindful enough, aware enough of what's going on. And it was okay maybe to speed on the straight line track, but if there is a sharp turn, definitely this is the time to slow down because you don't know what's behind. So it is like being this flexible with the speed. And spirituality is like living in different realms or energy frequencies at the same time. As I mentioned before, we don't cancel anything. We allow ourselves access to as many frequencies as we can. And this number 2 in Evolved Mind, I guess, gives us this idea that there are less and less limitations to where we can go, and all frequencies are accessible and available to us. And our ability to stay conscious, so have beta, our ability to sense in alpha, connect with the body and connect with the heart, with theta, or our inner truth, inner wisdom, our soul. So spirituality is like living in different realms, energy frequencies at the same time, and ability to stay connected and flexible to switch up on demand. So once again, you have a big picture. Big picture is like a good map, and then we don't mix up the context, right? It's good to have, I don't know, beta for a fight, for physical activity, for example. We use beta as well, similar to like mental activity. But then when you need to sleep, you need to sleep. When you need to put baby to sleep, you need to slow down. So Alpha would be the cornerstone of peak performance, and it is in charge of this flexibility and ability to slow down and switch. So in short, it's all about flexibility and connectivity. So that gives you this ability to discern the details. See, today is a new day. I don't have to repeat. I can be creative. And by now you probably know creative imply it's not just think, headache, pushing. It's flow. It comes with ease, and it comes with the energy and joy. So, and playing the right brain music in the right context. Yes, that's also what we learned today. And now I come to the very last case, gamma of spiritual awakening crisis. So gamma, there are lots of talks today about gamma, are these fastest brainwaves sitting on top of beta. So again, as you noticed, we develop from slowest to the fastest. And gamma kind of brings us this extra focus, extra concentration. So it develops at the time of spiritual awakening, I believe, when the time is to move on to another operation level. And what happens, we reset the whole system. The whole energy system is reset to another level of operation, more efficient, more capable, laser-like and speed of light-like, and at the same time it resets all the brainwaves below. So like you are energetically reborn on another level. And obviously it requires solid energetic maturity or stable alpha theta core. So you need to be grounded. If you go that high or that deep, you better don't lose yourself traveling that far. So Anna Weiss used to call it energetics. We see unusual body symptoms normally as the signs of the whole body energy system restructuring to operate on another level. As you know, this could be, I don't know, high temperatures, shaking, anxiety, rashes, all kinds of symptoms. And that could be Kundalini awakening, yes, and on the brainwave level, this could be gamma. And the energy from the lower centers is kind of not dispersed anymore by beta. It's more like we integrate everything. It goes and travels up the spine to feed beta and boost it into gamma, which overall takes human to another level. So once again, this was just an insight for you of what's happening when we are awakening spiritually. It not necessarily always comes with gamma, but I believe that this fast-paced world that we are facing, like obviously with technology and information development, our thinking gets faster. Our skills of relating to this world with each other, we have to speed up, yes, but we also need to be very grounded, and we also need, how to say, higher perception. I believe we become less material, but we need this subtle energy wisdom, so to say, to navigate fast-changing world, because fast-changing world implies not only fast reactions, it implies a very solid anchor in your own energy core and in your truth, and a bigger map ideally, so you can relate to reality, you know, in a more efficient and safe way, so to say, with less trouble, taking the turns with adequate speed and adjust your behavior as necessary. So that was my presentation. I probably wouldn't play with you because you by now would know which one is which brainwave represents which speed or state. This is the time for questions, any feedback, and again, thank you very much for your attention. I hope you really enjoyed it.
That was terrific, Oksana. Absolutely terrific. Beautiful visuals. I love the music.
I had lots of fun picking the music. I know it's Russian music from my childhood, but language here is not important. Like music speaks to the soul, so language barrier is not there. We pick the frequency straight away, right?
Wonderful. Wonderfully meditative all the way through, and so thoughtful and insightful. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Judith, from you especially, because you know it all. Anybody else?
Hi, this is Jen. I just have a question.
Yeah.
I'm really new. I just actually bumped into the book called The Awakening Mind. That's why I signed up for this. I don't know much about the mind mirror. What exactly it is? What it will do? And will that be able to work with, like, if you do the walking meditation, or they just strictly that you have to sit or lay down and use that? Is there anything you can give me a little bit of more detail, please? Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Jan, for your question. I'll answer shortly now, and then I'll forward you a link to watch a little video where I explain what, like, you'll see the pictures of how the device looks like and what's the difference, what are the capabilities of the mind mirror. So it's a little portable biofeedback device that allows you to measure your brain waves. So we measure brain waves by sticking electrodes to the brain. There are 5 electrodes that we stick, 2 left hemisphere to right and 1 ground electrode. They don't send any impulses to the brain. They just read the impulses, the signals from your brain activity, right? And then the software deciphers what's going on, and we can see the results with these beautiful patterns on the screen that I showed, right, with these colored bands. And that's how we interpret the brainwaves, which is much easier than interpreting brainwaves in clinical traditional neurofeedback, where you just see lots of wriggly waves. It's much harder to understand what's going on, right? So besides brainwaves, we normally measure when you are sitting still, because when you start moving, you'll create movement artifact, and that will distort the reading, right? We'll be reading something else, not the brain activity, muscle movements. So with indicators that we have, Mind Mirror will show you that, alert you that, hey, there is a movement there. It's not accurate data. Please sit still. And when you sit still, we have green light, so we can ensure good quality. So if you do walking meditation, you can still do before and after test. It's a good idea for when you have to move, because obviously, like with Meditation Club, it was good for me to notice that sometimes during meditation, we may show even like less scores, or yes, there will be peak states, you know, that we show during meditation that register this progress, right? That we are not wasting our time. We are really building new neural pathways, or improving our states, or balancing the brain more, getting more and more optimal. So we'll see that. But overall score for the meditation could be lower than pre-test, that this few minutes test that you do before just sitting still, you know, because that's still activity, and you may be, I don't know, like performance anxiety, or first time with the electrodes, or something else. So anything may be there. That's why it's good to measure after the meditation, because usually you have this afterglow, and you can allow yourself to sit still a few minutes for a good, you know, comparison. So sit still before for 3-5 minutes, sit still after for 3-5 minutes, and compare the results. And that will give you a good reference. Besides brain waves, we can read your muscle tension. So there is another little meter that connects to your finger, and pulse rate. So you can read your pulse and correlate if your, you know, how your mind works together with your heart, right? If we want to see mind through brainwaves. We can see heart through the pulse, for example. So we allow to measure heart rate variability. That's the same measurement that they use for or in HeartMath Institute, right? To measure whether your heart was participating and how it was participating. And then a temperature meter is another option to see whether you're falling asleep or whether you are meditating. So your body is relaxed, but mind is still active. We are not just completely drifting away, because same part may indicate sleep, or same part may indicate channeling, right? Or healing, right? And that way, like, are we drifting away to just disconnecting, or are we drifting away and slowing down to connect? So that's in short what Mind Mirror is. And as I promised, I'll send you a link. I created a short video explaining how it looks like and what's involved and how to read and explain the brainwave. So that will give you a good starting point. Any more questions or feedback? If not, I want to thank you for participation. That was lots of fun for me to prepare it, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did while doing it all through from beginning to end. And I hope you'll take all the keys into your everyday life. Please don't forget them. I'll email follow up with the links to this presentation and the recording of this meeting, so you can refresh, repeat if necessary. And those who were not here with us today but were registered, expressed interest, they would be able to watch it at home. So thank you so much, and you are welcome to join us for other programs, explore our video gallery, and come to meditation clubs. We have fun there as well. Thank you.
Lovely, Oksana. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much.